Welcome to the Heart Artistry Podcast. This is the first episode that we're dropping after the Road to Millions, which you have not tuned into. This is an incredible series that I did, my raw and unfiltered journey from $0 to $1 million in 5 years. And it leads us all the way up to the rebrand of the business, which is now under Heart Artistry. It is such a beautiful, pivotal, transformational death and rebirth portal that I've been in for quite some time now. And to have it all out in the world feels really special. So I'm really glad that you're here. Share this podcast with a friend, with someone that you think could really benefit from just being in a space where you are, which is really what we're diving into today. You are not just seeing your business as a business. Your business is a legacy. Your business is a story that's going to continue being told even after you are gone. It is larger than you. It's larger than life. It's beyond this lifetime. And that is really the work that I do here with visionary entrepreneurs, CEOs, creatives. That is the work that we get to do because, let's face it, consciousness is shifting and rising and expanding at astronomical levels. We can see it in the way that things are moving in and throughout the world. And if we can really be the people who are anchored in our truth, capital T truth, and really shift our consciousness now, we are going to be the ones, we are going to be the leaders left standing. We are going to be the ones who are going to continue to pioneer this path, not from a place of scarcity and fear and operating from our wounds, but we get to be the leaders that are operating from higher consciousness. We get to be the leaders that are guided by our higher selves in these, in these next several decades where business is really going to be shifting, right? Things are really going to be shifting on a global scale. Like industries are shifting, technology is shifting. We've seen it with the rise of AI, and there are so many things that are going to continue to shift and evolve and expand. And so when you stop seeing your business as a business and you see your business as this entity that you are growing, right? So that's the spirit of your business. That's the heart, the spirit, the soul of your business, seeing it as a entity that you get to co-create with and collaborate with rather than I have to go and build this thing based on this blueprint that I bought from this guru that told me how I should be building my business and how I should be posting online and how I should be growing my email list and sending out ads, and then people should be coming in and I should be creating these certain types of services because that's what sells. That was supportive for a time period, especially when the internet was a new thing, even just a couple decades ago. Like it wasn't even that long ago that the internet came to be, right? And there was a time where it was like, okay, this is how a business gets built, and you look around and you see those pioneers of online business and the .com, boom. And then from there, there has to be a shift. And this is the shift. It's been shifting. It's been shifting for some time now. And this is really the call. Like this is it. This is the call. This is the call to higher consciousness. This is a call to your business growing and expanding in a really beautiful, rapid rate. Right. And I don't just mean clients and sales, even though, yes, of course, that gets to be a part of this in a really big way. But I think that's one of the fundamental shifts, is not just seeing business as where are the clients? What do I build? What's the offer that's going to sell now? What's the most profitable? But rather, what do I feel needs to be shared and expressed? I can't hold it in. I can talk about this for hours. I am in a season of reinvention. A lot of my clients right now are in seasons of reinvention, right? So if you're in a season of reinvention, right, what are you being drawn towards? What have you been doing in your business for quite some time? And it's not cutting it anymore, right? And there was a time back when I started my business, I felt like this was still very prevalent, where you could follow a blueprint, you could follow a strategy, and you could be successful. In fact, that's how I made my first six figures is I followed a blueprint and I did what I felt like was the correct thing to do. And I looked at how other people were doing it who were making money, and I bought their programs and their strategies. You hear all about this in Road to Millions call number 1. You hear all about how that worked for a while until it didn't, until I crashed and burned and I had to learn some really valuable lessons on the way of getting back up off the ground after falling on my face multiple times, and big lessons I had to learn. Definitely tune into that series, especially if you want to hear more about my story and how I really came to build my business from a single mom that was living on food stamps and was going to college and working multiple jobs. And I was like 21 years old with a 2-year-old, taking her to school with me and making money and learning to build my business when I was 25 years old. And then by the time I turned 30, I had created a 7-figure company. And so there are some incredible stories and lessons. And I really made sure that as I was telling my story, which is the important integral piece of this, I was also sharing key valuable checkpoint lessons. So you hear that in calls 1, 2, and 3 is these checkpoint lessons of what I learned, what I integrated, what I alchemized throughout these pivotal points in my journey that you can really learn from and take away from. And I've got such incredible feedback from these episodes and these lessons. And my goal is really, especially as a 3-line and a 5-line, I really allowed myself to bring in what I felt like was the most powerful and incredible lessons from what I've moved through, my own trial and error, because I want you to be able to create a level of discernment and editing your thinking and thinking about your thinking that really makes you an entrepreneur that stands out, right? I think the worst thing that we can do as entrepreneurs is have someone think for us and outsource our thinking and outsource our brain instead of tapping into our unique artistry. At that point, it's like, just go and get a job. Like it's not even worth it. Like, we become entrepreneurs because we are here to build a very specific vision. We are here to build a very unique, we're in a very important time in the world, right? So many things are shifting, consciousness is shifting at rapid rates. And we also chose this timeline. Like, your soul chose to come here in this lifetime and reincarnate in this exact time in history. Do you think that you are not going to go down in history, right? And also, that's a choice. Like, there are people who've had profound gifts but didn't choose to act on them because, in the past, especially when it came to our ancestors as children of immigrants and beyond, there have not been a lot of resources, abilities, opportunities, doors open for our ancestors, especially our grandmas and great grandmothers. Like, they didn't have the ability to even speak their truth. They didn't even have their ability to say no to a partner that they didn't want to marry in most cases, right? Because that's how it was. That's how the culture was. There was a lot of oppression, especially around women, right? We still see that to this day. And so because we're here in this time frame, in this lifetime, because we have been placed here in this exact time in history, in the world, we are here to shape it, right? We're not here to just be complacent and to sit and just kind of idly be a witness to things that are shifting. No, we, especially here, if you're listening to this podcast, you are extraordinary. You are extraordinary. The ordinary person wouldn't spend their time. You're probably driving. You're probably on a walk. You're probably, maybe doing something around the house. The ordinary person might have the TV on, right? And, I love a good comfort show. But, generally, the ordinary person isn't thinking about building a vision. They're going to work. They have a 9 to 5. They are, just going through the motions. This is what their parents expected of them. This is what they feel like they should be doing. This is what they're doing, right? But you are extraordinary. You are building a legacy. You are building a vision, your vision, right? This is something that you are committed to. You spend time, even if you have, and I'm sure you have a busy schedule and a busy life, right? Like, this is not just, we don't build legacies because because it's convenient. We just don't. Like, can you imagine? I was in the middle of the pandemic when I started my business, and my daughter was doing kindergarten on Zoom, and she was with me full time. And it was just it was a bit of a shit show. I was in college too, and I was doing college on Zoom, and I'd just gotten laid off. Do you think it was convenient for me to, I mean, I guess in the sense that I was locked in my house, but I was also locked in the house with a crazy kindergartner. And there were so many things going on in that time in my life, in my personal life, not to mention a global pandemic. It wasn't convenient. I had very little money left. I didn't have money for next month's rent when I had got laid off in March. I didn't have money for April 2020 rent. I didn't have the money in that savings. And in fact, the little bit that I did have, I invested it into my very first business mentor. You're going to have to tune into Road to Millions to hear about how that story went down and if I was able to pay next month's rent and what I did after that. But I mean, yeah, the point here, it's never going to be convenient and easy. It's never going to be handed to us when we're building a legacy, right? If you're listening to this podcast, if you are someone that's building your business from scratch, you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, you had this vision of this business that you are building, that you're creating, you are a leader, you see the world in a different way. You're likely the only person out of your group of friends or family that sees the world in the way that you do, right? And that is something that is this is your gift, right? It's a gift that you see things in this way. And it is crucial that you see things in this way because here's the thing. People don't have ideas. People don't have ideas. Ideas have people. And this is the concept around the spirit of your business. Your business is alive and it is here to co-create with you. It can't bring itself into the 3D realm on its own. It's very limited in its capacity, right? It's a spirit after all. It's not a human. The spirit chooses a human or multiple humans to bring this idea, this concept, this purpose, this artistry into the world because the world needs it. Right? The world needs your voice. The world needs your purpose. Your distinct purpose is here to shift the consciousness of humanity. That's really what we're here to do. That's what every single one of us is here to do. Now, we all do it in different ways, and not everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. I mean, we need people to work in other positions, and the amount of joy that you have as an entrepreneur, someone else can experience that in their own way without having to be a leader, right? It doesn't need to be in this role, but because you are listening to this podcast where we are talking about entrepreneurship, this is an entrepreneurship podcast, this is a business podcast, right? It is the artistry of business. You see the world through the lens of a leader. Right? So even though everyone has a unique purpose and everyone's going to express that in their own unique way, your unique way is through being a leader. It's through leading. And your business is a legacy. Business as a legacy. Business as a legacy. This is really the shift of heart artistry. Like, this was the call to heart artistry. It was no longer Tiffany Chung coaching, right? And really just kind of going under my name, under my business, which is 100% fine. Like, there is no urgency for businesses to have brand names necessarily, especially if you are building a personal brand or if you are, just building your mentorship coaching business under your name. And I also didn't plan this. I did not see it coming until it landed for me. And if you have a brand name, you probably feel very similar. It's like you didn't really plan it, but here it is. It dropped in and it couldn't be ignored, right? It just cannot be ignored. It was the name. If you are familiar with the concept of spirit babies, you know that your baby essentially tells you their name, and you, like, yes, you quote unquote choose it, and you might have chosen it from a list of baby names, but ultimately there was a name that sounded and felt the most aligned, and that likely is your baby speaking to you. I know people who their babies have chosen them and spoken to them and let them know that they are on the way, or that they're coming soon. I've had friends who have had visions of their babies, and then, those are the babies that they end up having in several years' time. So everything has frequency, right? Everything is on a level of frequency, and business is as well. Do you think that wealth and sales and money and attracting clients is somehow different than your spiritual path, right? Do you think it's somehow different than you manifesting your partner, or being on a frequency that attracts aligned friendships, or leaving the house and entering, a new environment and attracting people to you left and right? Like, that is all frequency. It is. Everything we experience is on a level of frequency, and that is really what heart artistry is. Artistry is frequency. Artistry is your unique gifts. Artistry is your methodology. It is the way in which you communicate to your clients, to your community, to your people, right? And this is the time. This time right now, not a year from now, please, not a decade from now. Oh my goodness. Not years and years from now, okay? Can you even just for a moment, can you think about when this year started? I feel like it just started. Like, I feel like February was just 2 months ago. I remember when this year started. I still remember New Year's. I remember leading up to, because my daughter's birthday is in July. So it's always I always think of it as middle of the year, right? Summer, middle of the year. And I still remember leading up, planning her birthday. Just think about how fast this year has gone. And honestly, time is non-linear. We know this now. Time really, in a sense, doesn't even really exist. And time is moving at such rapid speeds. So no, when I talk about building your business as a legacy, I don't mean shifting into that years from now, or really thinking about doing business differently a couple years into your business, or several quarters from now. I am thinking about business now. I'm thinking about your legacy now. Your legacy is what you are actively choosing to build with your conscious decisions at every single moment. This is what you are opting into. This is what you're choosing right now in this moment in real time. This is what you're saying yes to. Your legacy is what you end up saying yes to over and over and over again. And also, obviously, on that same coin, what you are saying no to, right? What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? Can you allow these things to guide the way that you are leading, right? Because this is the time. You've probably felt it. You've felt the shift in frequency. You felt the shift in consciousness, right? I do think that 2020 was a huge awakening point for a lot of people. If not, then the last few years definitely was. If not, this year definitely was, right? We've had multiple points. At some point within the past couple of years, you probably had some massive awakening moments. And this is not connected to any type of religion or any type of institution. This is consciousness. Consciousness is not connected to any man-made it's not connected to any man-made structure, right? Because even if we think, like, I was raised very religious. I went to church. I did youth groups. I was studying to be a disciple. At one point, I wanted to be a pastor. I flew out to conferences to really study and really go deep into ministry work. I was a part of different programs. I would lead small groups. I was one of the youngest women by at least a decade that was leading small groups. I worked in Celebrate Recovery as a volunteer for many, many years, which is a religious-based recovery 12-step program. So think Alcoholics Anonymous, but it is faith-based and hosted in churches. So that's what I led when I was 19 years old. Yeah, I was 19, 20 at the time. And that was my life. That was my life. And so, I did eventually really outgrow and leave a lot of the teachings that really did not resonate and sit right with my soul and my divine truth over time, especially as I came out, as I really dove deeper into my journey as a single mom. And there were just a lot of different there were a lot of different awakenings and it was like a remembering that I had. There's a lot that I still, hold on to, different teachings of Jesus and disciples that feel true in my bones. And then there are teachings that I feel like have become very misconstrued over the years and mistranslated and misinterpreted that I learned to really discern and edit my thinking, right? Like I said earlier in this episode, your thinking is so important. And if we are just blindly listening to what our mentors are doing and blindly copying and following, right? Like that is really, the downfall of our legacy is if we are people that are just following the status quo and we're just doing what we have always been told to do, right? Like no one's going to tell you to quit your job, and no one's going to tell you to launch that offer, and no one's going to tell you to shift and rebrand, right? It is these calls and nudges and intuitive movements that we really have to listen to. It is our inner movements, our inner nudges, and that is really the shift that we are moving into in a really, really deep way. The old ways are just dying off completely. And I think because there is such a rise in consciousness, I do think that there are dark arts energies that are also trying to come in and infiltrate, and because they know that they're on the way out, right? They know they're on the way out, and so they're fighting. They're trying to make themselves known. They're trying to come in because they know that they're going, right? And so we have a choice that we get to make as conscious creators. We have a choice where we get to decide what is our legacy going to look like, right? Like it's not just a business. Like if I can just say that until I'm blue in the face, it's not just a business. It's not a business. It's not a business. It really is not, at the end of the day, a business. This is your legacy. This is your movement. This is not just build an offer and sell to clients and run ads. This is, those are some of the actions that likely a lot of you are taking right now actively or planning to take, right? Like this is their strategy. That's what we do inside the chamber. The chamber is my broadcast channel where you access transmissions just like this that you're listening to right now. These channel transmissions. I have like 3 lines of notes here, like a small little paragraph, and the rest of this is me riffing, right, on the energetic forecast and on how things are shifting on a global scale, right, and how we're shifting into power, on such a big scale. Like I can really feel the whole, like my entire body is vibrating as I'm recording this. And the chamber is my charging station. It is the charging station channel, and it's hosted on Telegram. It is broadcast trainings multiple times a week, whether it's activations, riffs, strategy. These are like hardcore high level strategy that you can go and take. It's easy to implement. It's step by step. You go and take action right away and see results in your business. And that's really what the chamber is you plug in, you get activated on a soul and identity level, and then from there you go and take action. And I give you the activations to really drop into your body. And then I also give you the strategies to go and make money and make sales in your business this week, not later, not, down the line, not in your next launch, but right now, this week, today. Go and post on your stories. This is exactly what you say. This is how you tweak your messaging. This is how you shift. This is how you sell. This is how you close in the DMs. Let's go. Let's do it. Activate you and then go and take action. That's what the chamber is. I don't want you to spend tons of time in the chamber. It's like a bounce off, bounce in, bounce out. Like bounce in, get what you need, get activated, charge, get the strategy, bounce out, go and take action, make sales. That's what I want the chamber to be, right? That's why it's very straightforward. There's 2 threads inside the chat. One of them is the portal. That's where I drop all the trainings. That's where you can sift through, scroll through, get whatever you need. And then there's community. You can drop in, connect, share your revelations, breakthroughs, connect with other people, follow them on Instagram. This is a like-minded community of other entrepreneurs and heart-centered leaders. So you want to meet the other people in the chamber. And that's it. That is it, right? You also get access to all of my micro programs, an entire library of masterclasses that you get access to upon registration as well. So that is the chamber, right? And I share that because this is, going back to what I was saying, things are changing, right? Things are changing, and what is working in this new paradigm, right? Let's talk about what's not working anymore. What's not working anymore is systems of supremacy and oppression that have been ruling for decades and decades and decades. We have built these systems that are falling apart. We're literally watching them fall apart in real time. Right. And I think for a lot of people, it feels really scary. Like if you are rooted in fear and scarcity, you're going to look and feel like, oh my goodness, everything's falling apart. What is happening? The world is ending. Right. And it very to our human, because here's the thing, we are just as much soul as we are human. The human is going to be scared. Like there is a lot that's shifting and that's continuing to shift that is going to bring up very, very real, visceral reactions that we cannot possibly, in a way, we can't possibly separate from them, because there are global events that are bringing us to our knees, right? And there are things happening that are actively tragic, right? And at the same time, right, and not even on a global scale, but also just industries are shifting, energy consciousness is shifting, things are shifting within our own personal lives, right? We get to see it from a lens of, okay, if I'm not choosing to see this from a lens of pure fear, pure scarcity, pure fear, then how can I look beyond and continue to stay rooted in my vision and continue to be heart-centered, right? And I think that's a really important thing to understand as we're shifting into a new paradigm, especially in business, right? What worked in the old paradigm of just, okay, I'm going to build this business because I bought this blueprint and I'm following this guru and this is what they're telling me to do and let me go and do it. It is, can I really open up the channel for optimal guidance and what I am meant to experience in what I am building, my legacy, my revolution, my movement. This is where we really get to connect with our divine higher self, the spirit of our business, right? Our unique spirit team. What is going to set us apart as we go into this new paradigm is our own individuality, our own unique artistry. That's something that it can't be in the rise of AI. It cannot be automated. It cannot be duplicated, right? It cannot be overridden. This is work that is genuine to you and your divine truth. You can't pop that into some type of simulation or algorithm, to be able to feed you answers. Your artistry and your work, your mission, this is what you're here to do. This is what you're here to create. This is your life's work, right? So anchoring in on that, anchoring in on what that gets to look like on a global scale. And I know that as exciting as these conversations get to be, I do think it's very real that it can feel like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot. And I'm holding a lot on my shoulders. I'm the, if you're listening to this, you're like the only person in your lineage that is doing this work. And sometimes it can feel lonely and disorienting. And oh my goodness, am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Like, I think those are all human, very normal human reactions to this work, because what we're doing is so, again, the word extraordinary. It's so extraordinary because the ordinary person is living in fear, and the ordinary person is going about their daily life and their 9 to 5 and not really, living to their life's potential, but you are honoring your purpose in such a grand way. Okay, so as we're moving into this paradigm, this shift, this consciousness expansion era, I want you to know that your work is so valuable and so important. You are set apart because of your artistry, because of your leadership, because of your legacy. And that is not built out. It's not going to be built or backed by anyone other than you. Right? You came here with a very specific and unique purpose. And this is the time. This is the call of heart artistry, right? This is why I rebranded in this very pivotal time, not just in my own business and life, but in the world, because I know what is shifting and I know what's happening. And I know that this is the rate at which we're moving towards higher and higher realms of consciousness, right? And I really do believe that we are going to need conscious leaders now more than ever. I mean, I feel like I've been saying that for several years, but it's so true. Like, we need you. We need conscious leaders. We need leaders who are heart-centered, who are in integrity, who are thinking about not just business as a business, right? Because if you're thinking about business as a business, it's very like, what is the rate of conversion and what do I create that's the most profitable and how can I make as much money as I can this year? And like, we still get to ask ourselves those questions, of course, right? We still live in the 3D realm. We still, business still needs to run on oxygen, which sales are oxygen of your business, right? So these conversations, and like I mentioned earlier, the chamber is really the place where you get to plug into the sales strategy piece, as well as the energetics, the activation, the identity, the CEO identity, which powers your strategy, which powers your action, right? And so, yeah, I mean, that is all very, very real. And at the same time, we still get to see our business as a profound legacy, as a profound movement, right? Which is exactly what we're here to do. You are here to open up divine direction from your spirit team, your higher self. Your higher self knows past, present, future. Your higher self knows everything that you're set out to do, sees your vision, is here to guide you. And the spirit of your business is the literal spiritual entity, the soul, the spirit of your business. It is the entity of what you're co-creating with to bring your work into the world. Like, you're not here to do this alone. You're not here to just sit and grind this out on your own. You have a spirit team that's here to support you and your overall life. And you have a business, the spirit of your business, which is here to co-create. Like, I think about it where I was giving this example because I just had a VIP weekend with one of my longtime clients, which was, it was just such an incredible experience. I'm going to have to make a full post on it and really share more about it. But it was just such an incredible weekend. And one of the things I was sharing with her was she's someone who is great at taking action. She's really great at execution, right? She's not afraid of hard work. She's not afraid of showing up and being visible and doing what it takes. It's one of the reasons why I love working with her, and I love working with ambitious leaders who are just like ready to go, because I'm the same way. I'm not someone that sits around. I don't need long periods of rest. I take take my time off as I do, you know, here and there. I have my free days, but I am someone that just I love showing up. I love my business. I don't see it as work. I don't see it as like, this is my legacy. Like, I work on my business nearly every single day, and this is what brings me a deep level of joy that I genuinely haven't experienced in any other area of my life, right? Like, motherhood brings a different level of joy. It's different, right? And I've never experienced joy like that as a mother in any other capacity, but my business also brings me a level of joy and fulfillment that also cannot be fulfilled in any other area, right? So I have different pockets of joy and fulfillment and pleasure, and being with my loved ones is really important to me, but my business is my legacy, and I see it as that, you know, and I think that's one of the greatest things about building a business as a legacy is it isn't just, okay, what's the post that needs to go out today, and what's the thing that should I go live? Okay, I record a podcast. Okay, let's see how many people did someone sign up today. It's like, it's not as monotonous. It's like you're building a legacy that, like, every single piece of what you build and create becomes a part of that legacy, right? It continues adding and growing and expanding. And I mean, that's it. Like, that's what we get to do. So anyway, what I was saying to my client Carmela over the weekend as we were coaching was, you know, the spirit of your business, it isn't just like you take an action and then it shows up in your, you know, you see an immediate result from that very specific action. It's like, even when you're sleeping, this is a good one. Okay. I do this a lot. I do this almost every single day. You go on a walk and you are just basking in gratitude. Like, you are, from the top of your head to the tips of your feet, you are just in this state of gratitude where you are beaming. Like, you are just, like, it feels so good. You are in a state of, like, one of the things that we worked on with my client Carmela over the weekend, we had a private weekend, VIP weekend. And it's, oh my goodness, I'll have to make another episode. I'll have to dive into it in another capacity. And if you want to explore in-person work, I mean, she flew out for this weekend, and everything, you know, her hotel and everything, her stay was included in the investment, because this was a very unique and a special offer for my Magic Mind students. And she's in Magic Mind Mastermind, which is my highest level business mastermind for seasoned entrepreneurs. And she's on year number 2 for her alumni year. And you can message me, send me a DM on Instagram if you would love to explore some in-person VIP days, offerings. I am going to be bringing more of that into the space. But one of the things that I said, and one of the things that we worked on really, was stepping into that level of power now, right? So we tapped into some of the somatic experiences where she was feeling some tightness and contraction around, like, being at a high level of power, but not at like a full max 10 out of 10, like CEO boss energy. I walk into the room, people, you know, are like, oh my God, who are you? Like, what is this? Right. And so we practice that. We practice playing with that feeling. Like, yeah, that's not, like, how can we, you know, and one of the things that we coached on was, like, we're not necessarily here to wait for, oh my God, someone's coming up to me. Now I feel this way. Okay, someone came up to me. Okay, now I can feel magnetic. Oh my God, someone made eye contact with me as I walked into the room. Oh, I must be magnetic then. No, it's like, can you actually tap into that feeling now, right? How it would feel if, like, a crowd started to gather as you were talking about your work, right? That's literally happened to me at events where one person asked me about my work. And as I started talking and sharing, I got more excited. I get fired up. I get louder, right? And then, like, I look up and there was an entire crowd that gathered, and it wasn't even my event. I was just attending it as an attendee. And there's this entire crowd that was, like, staring. And I remember connecting with a couple of the women afterwards, and one of them, we actually met up at her business. She runs this really beautiful cafe locally, and she was like, oh my God, I just knew I had to talk to you, because when you were speaking, there was literally a group of people that started building and growing as you spoke. I was like, oh my God, who are you? And I was like, yeah, I remember that. That's so crazy. So what we were working on was really stepping into that energy, letting it unfold in your heart or wherever you feel your power in your body. It could be your womb, it could be your sacral, it could be your yoni, it could be your head, it could be your third eye chakra. It could be like any point in your body, right? Like we feel things in all parts of our bodies, and we have very much a physical body as much as we have an energetic and spiritual body, right? And so you're going to feel it somewhere in your body. I always feel things in my sacral. It's always like my sacral. It's just always my sacral, or my yoni. And so, we just identified like where it was for Carmela. For Carmela, it was her heart. And that was where, it was like, can we tap into this unfolding of like power? You're in your highest level of power. Can you feel that now? Can you feel it tingling in your body? Can you feel yourself walking into a room, people staring at you? Can you feel that unfolding even more? Can you take it a step deeper? Can you expand that level? Can you feel it radiating? Can you literally see a force field of energy around you expanding? Can you walk into a room with that energy and watch what happens? And it was really crazy. After she did this, I told her to keep practicing it throughout the weekend. And there was this woman that came up and they started a conversation. She came back to me afterwards and told me about it. And she was like, it was the magnetism. And I was like, yes. And we were literally in line just waiting for a host at this reservation for our reservations for this beautiful restaurant right on the water. Gorgeous waterfront restaurant with an incredible menu selection. It's one of my favorite restaurants out in that area. And this woman comes up to me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I don't want this to be weird, but you have such powerful energy. What do you do? She was just like, she came up to me and we just started this conversation, and Carmela was like, wow, that was really cool watching that happen in the wild, right? Because this is something I talk about all the time, is like, my magnetism is on another level. I have people come up and approach me. I have people come up to me and talk to me literally about my energy. And that happens a lot, and I turn it on and I turn it off. There are some times where I'm like, I'm on my cycle, don't talk to me. I am just here to get what I need to get, and I'm in and I'm out, and it is what it is. And I turn it off, I keep it off, right? And then there are times where I turn it on and people's heads literally turn towards me as I'm turning it on energetically. And that's a really powerful practice. So that's something that Carmela and I were playing with this weekend. And I mean, this is something that we get to shift into, right? It's going to be like, we're going to lean so far away from validation and wanting things to be a certain way in order for us to be powerful and for people to, to understand us and for us to see results and to see proof in order for people to, in order for us to feel good about ourselves, right? Or sales need to come in before we feel successful and accomplished, right? Or someone needs to, approach us and come up to us in person for me to be able to call myself magnetic, right? Like, it's going to be so much less leaning on validation and outsourcing our power, and it's going to be more about insourcing your power. So you're going to be able to source your power from within yourself, which is really the work that I do and really the work that we focus on inside the chamber. I see the chamber as my charging station, right? The chamber is trainings, it's broadcast, it's transmissions, it's strategies, it's come in, plug in, get activated and get supported, right? Like, there's no coaching involved in the chamber. So if you want coaching, then coaching is happening inside Magic Mind, my high level mastermind, where we have 2 to 3 calls a month. We have in-person retreats. You really get like everything in my product suite, all of my offers. Magic Mind includes the chamber. But the chamber is really that charging station where you come in and you get supported, you get activated, you really work on your personal power, you build your own world. And then by the time you're inside Magic Mind, you already have your own world and you're really like building out the legacy of your world, right? It's like you are going from, having the idea for like Disneyland and building Disneyland to like expanding it into Disney World and like making it a global movement. And that's really what I do in my work. Like, this is what it's all about: personal power, CEO identity, magnetism. And this is the best time to jump in. So if you are feeling called towards working together, right? If maybe you're not sure what exactly you're feeling pulled towards, just send me a DM, say, hey, just listen to your recent podcast episode. I'm interested to learn more about mentorship. And I'm very serious and I'm very committed about taking clients who are a aligned best fit. So I will give you offers and options that you can feel into. And if it feels good, we'll go from there and I'll share next steps with you, right? And I will tell you if you're feeling called towards a specific offering, if you're like, you know what, I really want to start at the chamber, I think that's a really great place for me to plug in. The chamber is $25.55, and that includes your 6-month commitment. There's also a 4-month payment plan if you would like to opt for that, a little bit more flexibility. That's $670 for 4 months, monthly payments. And if you're like, okay, I want to start at the chamber, I want to plug into Tiffany's trainings, transmissions from her higher self, these activations on business, legacy, artistry, selling, messaging, identity, personal power, building out my world. I want to start at the chamber, then just message me chamber, be like, hey, I'm ready to join the chamber. There's also a link in the show notes. So if you're proactive like me and you just want to lead yourself to checkout, there's a link right there. You can read all about it. You can check out and get inside and then start accessing the trainings today within the same hour. Literally immediately as you jump in, you get the link to the Telegram, you get the link to the library of trainings, and you get to jump straight into the chamber. You can be binging 4 or 5 trainings back to back to back today, literally today. So you can start that right now. And if you're like, you know what, I want to be a part of a business mastermind, I really want to be a part of a sisterhood, I am a woman leader who is really here to do this long term, I want to be locked into mentorship for a full year with Tiffany, and I really want to experience the expansion of my craft, my artistry, my methodologies, building out my business in a really powerful way, and getting Tiffany's support, close-knit mentorship, high-touch support. We've got a 24/7 Slack channel where I drop in with support and coaching, back and forth coaching threads where we can go back and forth on whatever it is you want support on, calls, right, as well as programs and higher level teachings that only happen inside the mastermind space. And that's really for the leader that is building that global movement, and you want to be supported through workshopping your launches and evaluating your sales processes and really going deeper into strategy, and also really strengthening the identity and energetics of who you're being as a leader, how you're showing up, the foundations of your power, which is really important, and learning to navigate the energetics and the identity of your own inner world as your business continues to grow, and as you navigate things like growing your team, launching, building out your product suite, stacking monthly recurring revenue. That's really the work that we do very deeply with my close mentorship and high touch support inside that space. So if you're like, you know what, I think I'm actually a great fit for Magic Mind, there is an application in the show notes. You can also access it through tiffanychung.co/magicmind. tiffanychung.co is my main website. So you can access the chamber, you can access Magic Mind, whatever you need through that main homepage. You can always also just send me a message on Instagram. I love responding with voice notes, and we can just have a chat back and forth and really learn about, okay, like, where's your business? What is your vision? Where are you at right now? What do you want to create before the end of 2025? Like, where is your business right now? What do you feel like are the stickiest points? What are the things that are working well? Where do you like deeper support to go from good to great? Let's chat about that. Let's talk about that in the DMs and really dive deeper into it. And then from there, I can let you know how I can best support you, and we can feel into what options feel good to you. So that's what we get to do as well. This is a really great time to explore mentorship with me, especially as the chamber is just launched. Magic Mind is just such an incredible, sacred space. And I also do Telegram coaching and one-on-one as well, and some in-person offerings. So we can create what feels the best fit for you. Just send me a message and we'll chat deeper. And if you're really someone that enjoys transmissions and trainings like this, where you can just plug in anytime, anywhere, get what you need, go and take massive action, the chamber just opened, and it is an incredible, incredible space. So starting there is really your best option. So I'm really excited to see you inside the chamber, inside Magic Mind. If that's a fit, you could send me a DM. We can talk more about you, your business goals, how I can deeper support you. And we'll go from there. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for tuning in. and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Heart Artistry Podcast.